Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I'll be working on the outside again. But before I get into that, in case you're new here, my name's Mary, and here on YouTube, I like to share the many projects I have going on around here with you all. If you enjoy gardening like I do, you know that we're never really finished with our gardens, or at least I'm not. Like, I always have things I want to tweak or move around or improve or try to. And I have this one area that's just driving me crazy these days. It's in front of our house, so of course it's an area that I walk past, numerous times a day. And about a month ago, I kind of liked how it looked. And even the past years, I can't really remember that it bothered me that much. Like, I always had a little bit of an issue with it, but this year, for some reason, it's just getting to me. Like, I want to just change the whole thing. So that's what I plan to do in today's video. I'm going to take everything out. And if you're a gardener, again, you know that that's actually harder to do than build a new flower bed, or at least in my opinion it is. But I'm determined to just get that place or that area looking the way I want it to look. Over the years, it's just been really hard for me for some reason to design that area. I don't know, is it the slope or how it kind of lays there in front of the house? It's just, so far, I've never really just loved it ever. So let's get right into it. So I'm standing in the front of our house right now, and I know this is off subject, but do you guys like to see a house front that looks like this, basically covered by trees? I go back and forth about it. Like, I love it from the inside where I can look out and just feel like I'm living in the trees. I see birds right outside the windows, but I know it's probably not ideal, walking up to a house and it's basically covered by trees. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Would you get rid of some of them? I don't even like to say that because I love my trees, but sometimes I think it would be kind of nice to be able to see out. But again, for now, I kind of like it the way it is. But getting to the subject on hand here, the left side of the sidewalk here is where I want to work. And what really bothers me right now is I have some tall things or taller things in here than back here. Like here we have mostly ground covers, and I feel like we need some height in here. Just bring it up a bit and maybe take some of this away too. I'm not quite sure what all I'll remove, right in here. But the area that I want to clear is back here. Again, I kind of liked it this spring when everything was a bloom, but now it's just, it does nothing to me. I don't like any of it. So this is where I'll be working for the most part. Again, just removing everything. I have a flower bed out here where I plan to maybe add some of the coral bells. That is right in here. And this will probably sound all confusing, but I also plan to remove these black-eyed Susans that you see. I'm just not really liking this space either. I'd rather just have some low, maybe ground covers in here. And again, maybe some of the coral bells, just get some other textures and colors in here. We'll see. I have some perennial pinks and geraniums that I plan to move elsewhere. I'm going to trim them down. Maybe they'll grow out again this year, and if not, there's always next year. In case you're wondering why there's so many leaves down, we had a hailstorm the other night and a lot of the leaves came down. There's of course some holes in the hosta leaves, but I know it was minor here compared to some other places. Just thankful that nothing major was damaged. I have a spot behind our fire pit area that I sometimes transplant things that I'm not sure where I actually want them, and anymore, you know, it's kind of turning into a flower bed of its own. I have some veronica that I dug out, and here I'm planting it into our vegetable garden for now. So you may be wondering how our garden is doing. It's actually doing pretty good for our first year. We're battling a lot of weeds, which we were kind of expecting that. If you look beyond the garden, there's a few small trees planted. Those are apple trees, and I plan to have just a little orchard down there, and I thought it would be pretty to plant those dianthus or pinks down there, just kind of scattered about. I think that would look really pretty in an orchard. I also have some bugleweed that I plan to transplant down here. So I feel like the hard part is done here, and now the fun begins, buying the shrubs and planting them. I'll go ahead and show you up close kind of what it looks like. I did leave just a few things in here. As you can see, the Alberta spruce and then some ground covers. And I plan to remove all of the stones before I plant anything. Marlene kind of advised me to do that, just so I can, have more of a clean slate to work with. And then up here in the raised bed, these shrubs are going to be removed. And I'll probably just put annuals in here. Not quite sure. I do have those Gomphrena in there. Those are annuals. And I might just add some more along the back then. Not quite sure. I'll see what I come across at the greenhouse, I guess. And as you can see, for now, I'm just kind of leaving this section. I feel like it blends in well with what's other side of the sidewalk. But I do want to remove these ferns that are in the middle here, and maybe this hosta that is being overrun by the lamium. As you can see, we have some hail damage here. So I'm going to go to Fredericksburg Greenhouse first this morning. I've showed you guys that place before on here. They have lots of amazing plants. Hopefully I can find everything there that I want, and if I can't, I'll probably go to Yoder's. If you're local, you know who I'm talking about, but again, hopefully I can do everything in one stop. So let's get going. So I'm ready to leave, and as you can see, it's time for me to go. I think my vehicle is full. So impressed with what I have. I think I found everything here, so I'm going to head home and do some planting. All of the rocks you see on this property actually were here, so we basically live on rocks. I always create piles of rocks along the outskirts of our property in case we ever want to use them for some landscaping. They're easy, accessible. Some of the larger rocks I ended up using the utility cart to haul them off. It was just easier than, picking them up and placing them in a wheelbarrow. And of course I could have waited on John to help me with this, but being the impatient person I am, I just went at it myself. So here is what the space looks like after most of the rocks are gone. I did leave some along the front by the raised bed. It's always nice to have stepping stones to kind of walk over when planting in there. Honestly, when I was setting up these shrubs and trees, I had no idea what I was doing. I just kind of plopped them down where I thought they would look right, and surprisingly it actually ended up looking okay. Hopefully, in 5 to 10 years it still will, but I think for now I'm gonna kind of keep it this way. I was really thankful for John's help with the digging. We always have hard digging around here with all the rocks. I didn't get this on video, but the other day when I was to the greenhouse, I stopped at another greenhouse that had 50% off of all their things. And I got these pretty white geraniums for 50% off. I was so impressed. I'm going to plant them in this raised bed and hope they do well in here. Here John is making a pretty little stepping stone sidewalk. When we head down to the fire pit area, go back and forth from there, it'll be nice to be able to come up this way. My prized plant, or my baby, is going to be this redbud tree. I love these. I've never had one before, but Marlene has tried to grow them already or plant them, and they just didn't survive. I think our winters are almost too cold for them, but I'm going to give it a shot. I got some instructions from the guy at the greenhouse to see if there's a certain way, to plant them, and he said they definitely like well-drained soil, and it's good to kind of keep them, not plant them too deep, and kind of mound them up at the trunk, and then maybe make a little ditch along the top so that the water still, kind of soaks in if it does rain, but still then it would be more, well draining if it's more mounded and not planted as deeply. And I felt with the slope here, it is a well drained bed. But yeah, just crossing my fingers. I'll keep you guys updated to see if it survives or not, but it'll be so pretty if it does survive. So I love the little path that John made here. He actually used the stones that I was going to leave along the front of the raised bed. I didn't even say anything because I actually like to see it better without. They were nice flat stones, so they kind of worked for his little path here. So now let's go back and take another look at the before and then the after. I can honestly say every time I walk past here, I feel good about this area for the first time in years, really. And I realize, your flower beds, your gardening, it's not that big a deal. It's not going to make your life unhappy if it doesn't look right. But, being a gardener, there's just something about having every little space that you work in kind of looking the way you envisioned, which doesn't always happen for me. Like, I'm always tweaking things, changing things around. I guess that's the fun of gardening, or to me it is, and I just love that I finally have this area looking the way I kind of wanted, and a total different look from anything I've ever had in here. I think this is what I needed all along. I wonder what you guys think. Let me know down below in the comments, and I'm not offended if you're going to say, oh, you should have left all the ground covers, because that can be a nice look too. And again, I kind of like that in the early spring, but that's about the only time. And the next project will be almost a continuation of this one. I'll be working underneath the deck. I have some plans for this space, and that will probably be in the next video or the following one, not quite sure. But at the point of editing here, it's finished. Such a fun space to work on. Can't wait to show you. Stay tuned for that. If you want to know the names of what all we planted in here, I'll go ahead and throw 2 images on the screen for you with the names included by each shrub in case you want to buy the exact same thing. I know how that is. Sometimes when you're watching something, you want to know, what it is. Hopefully this will work for you, but I thought maybe you could take, a screenshot of it for future reference. And I guess I'll be doing a faceless outro here, but I hope your day is going great. Thanks guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Happy gardening to all of you gardeners out there, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.